Oh my goodness, the New York Knicks did it again. A third 20-point comeback in the playoffs in what was a very decisive game 3. If they lost this game, their season was over, but now it's 2-1. And now we need to look at what the New York Knicks can do if they really want to be able to tie this series going back to New York. Or was it all for nothing? So today we're going to get into the game 4 adjustments that this team needs to take away if they really want to win. I think the big starting point here is talking about Tom Thibodeau's adjustment, which I think is forced by the hand of the referee, with Jalen Brunson having 5 fouls going into the fourth quarter, which changes everything. Because they seem to have a bit of a conundrum where with Cat and Brunson, the defense is absolutely horrendous. But with one of them off the floor, things seem to get significantly better. Just look at the fourth quarter here for this Knicks team. So Brunson's on the floor and you have Cat, right? Halliburton settles for this 3, gets it. Now, obviously, there's something you can change about, if they weren't both on the court, what changes? Now you're at a point, there's no Brunson. Now they go for the inbound here to Nesmith. Hart stays in front. Cat does a good job of staying in front. Hart stays right in front as well. They could get the board. They do a good job of rotations. Cat does a good job of playing the drop, stopping Thomas Bryant here on the possible comeback. Mikal still gets a piece and stays in position. And again, the team switching is way better. Hart does a beautiful job, by the way, getting onto that outside shoulder from Siakam, so he can't just quite get away with the spin. And again, this is a star level player. Guys are going to make their shots. But still, the idea is this team defensively was cooked the first half. It was horrendous. But now McBride does a good job, keeping Siakam in front of him, forcing him to settle for the 3. I think that ultimately what this team is doing defensively, you really do have to consider at times, if you're Thibodeau, to be willing to go some stretches without one of the 2. I think the defense has been a big reason they were able to come back and win this game. It wasn't because, again, when you try and go offense for offense with the Pacers, I think the Pacers damn near will always win. But when you force it to be a defense and you force the Pacers to have to slow down, then things get ugly if you are the Pacers. And then we have to talk about the Knicks, and honestly, I think who needs to be their biggest driving force offensively? Karl Anthony Towns. With 20 points in the fourth quarter, Cat took over this game. And I think a big reason is, again, like I told you guys in my first video talking about this series, they let Cat go downhill. They let Cat become aggressive. Look at this, right? They beat you off the dribble. He gives the catch here from Hart. Turner's trying to stop the obvious 3-point shot. He is able to then get the slight little slip screen here from Hart and is able to get all paint and one. That is a tide turning shot, right? Like, these are big finishes you're getting, and you're forcing the opposing bigs to get into trouble late. Right now, Brunson's here. Now you've got, Turner, catch and shoot. Bridges starts backing down. Now, Shepard's got to stay close to Brunson, right? Because you can't just let Brunson go free. Turner taps, Cat away a little bit, and Cat just goes, oh, I'll take that then. Siakam can't come over in time. Nembhard tries to draw, and instead gets the blocking foul. And again, but just look at how Cat's attacking. Where does he go every single time? Damn near the paint. Then he just left wide open here, right? Like, again, that's one of those shots I guess you live with if you're the Pacers, but I would not be happy with. But again, the Cat has just been nothing short of remarkable. He gets that separation, right? And that's the big thing. McBride's got Siakam. They go with the guard screen because they want to figure out how they want to play it. There's nobody here for either. And then in this point, that's an and 1, by the way, but he gets the 3 to fall. Now you have a 4-point lead. Cat has been aggressive. And when he has been, I think this team has looked its best, because then teams have to, respect him in the paint. They have to then adjust to someone like Brunson on the court, and that's when everything changes for this team, because then Brunson can get to where he needs to be to try and succeed. When we look at even just the game charts of the last few games from Brunson, it is evidently clear that he is at his best when he can go downhill, get to the paint, force the problem, right? He gets Nesmith on him here. He does a great job. They get the Mikal action, right? So now Tyrese stops, hesitates, Brunson gets in and can get that left-handed finish, and then things again. Now he's got Nembhard one-on-one, like he likes to do. He breaks it down. Now Turner had to, decide, do I let him leave Cat open? Because I know Brunson's a smart enough passer and playmaker, he's going to get the ball to him. And instead, right, he gets the hook shot because Turner then had to pick his poison, which I think if you can consider making that happen more and more if you're the Knicks, That's when I think things could get a little bit interesting, because again, now you got TJ McConnell on you. This is a great screen coming up here, right? Forces to the back shoulder. Now Thomas Bryant has to stay back. Goes up, gets the easy left-hander. And again, I think Brunson is at his best when he attacks the paint. And I think because when Cat's aggressive, now teams, again, I wanted to just keep noticing. He goes in. Turner considers going in to try and get the steal. Can't get it. Gets a bit of a, not the best and one call. I don't necessarily think that's a foul. But that is a high quality shot. That is because Brunson, again, continues to play downhill. The idea is, look at Donovan Mitchell, look at Giannis. When they play best against this Pacers defense is when they go right inside to the paint and try and take it over. That's how you try and beat this Pacers team. Then you can try and sprinkle in some threes later on to where things can really change. Again, just look at some of these shots. And even earlier, guys, when I showed you the shot charts, just notice there's a similarity. Obviously, are you going to make every shot in the paint when you're a guard like Brunson smaller? No. But force the issue. You could get a foul call. You can force a defense to adjust. Now you got Turner on you. Gets a tough float. At the end of the day, I think if they want to win game 4, the strategy has become extremely clear now. If you're the Knicks, you need to make the paint your territory. You need to make the Pacers have to adjust and try and pinch and close in the lanes. At that point, then you could probably get your 3 ball to fall. And at that point, you have this Pacers defense in complete disarray. If you are the New York Knicks and you want to force a legitimate series out of this and you want to win game 4 and go back to New York, you need to force the issue in the paint. You need to make Karl Anthony Towns continue to play aggressive. And the only way I believe you're going to be able to do that, if you're Tom Thibodeau, you have to take the risk and you have to be willing to go stretches where Brunson, or Cat, my apologies, are off the floor entirely. Where there's just one of them in and you hope that the defense can rally around and that the offense can continue to gel. Now, in the clutch moments, can you have Cat and Brunson in? Absolutely, right? Because at that point, you could do all sorts of, timeout, switches, subs, all that. But in the, those 3 minutes at the end of the third, maybe you just have Brunson in, or maybe you just have Cat in, or vice versa. I think at the end of the day, that's how you're going to try and force a game, 6, 7, really force this series to go the distance. As always, guys, this is Mr. Nose Hoops. I'm curious, what do you guys think about this series? Do you agree with my assessment that that's how the Knicks are going to be able to try and get back into the series? Do you think it's still cooked and the Pacers win game 4 and it doesn't matter anyways? I always love to know what you guys think. As always, this was Mr. Nose Hoops. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.